Hello, hello, my beautiful people. Thank you so much for joining in and watching my video. I am so excited. I'm here. Let me take my glasses off until I'm ready to read. Um, Everybody, I'm Dawn, and I'm just excited as usual just to come in and touch base with you all. I know my eyes, I'm so sorry. My eyes continue to run, I guess, the allergies. But anyway, again, I just wanted to let you know happy Friday. And today is Free Talk Friday. And usually on Free Talk Fridays, what we do is just free to talk about anything, of course, in decency. So today I want to talk about vacation spots, and what are your likings? What are you looking to do on your vacation? And if you have somewhere that you would like to go, I want to talk about that. So, of course, I'm looking forward to see you put in the chat, what are your vacation spots? What do you like to see, or where do you like to go? And some people have vacations as a bucket list. Some people feel like they cannot make a vacation trip, set aside vacation time, but I am here to tell you, please do. You may have a desire for a specific place you want to go, a country, or even just to take a weekend off or to go to another state, for those just a couple of days or so. I would encourage you to do so because you only have one life to live. And despite everything else that you do in life, you want to be able to say, hey, I was able to take some time off. And I encourage you to do so maybe 4 times a year. Now, if you can't absolutely do 4 times a year, try two to 3 times. Now, what I would recommend is if you're able to take one big vacation, plan for that. And then if you can, in between, maybe take two small ones here and a medium, and that's 4. If you're not able to do 4, some people are able to do one big vacation where they plan, and it takes a lot of money just to do that one big vacation. And if that's what you want to do, then go ahead and do that. The other thing, what I would recommend is take small little trips. It always seems a little bit hard for us to do when for some reason it seems harder to plan small trips, because most of the time when you want to get away, most people are like, I just want to do, this big getaway. But believe it or not, it has been, I don't know the high statistic, but it has been proven that little vacation in here and there is healthy for the soul, the mind, and the body. So even if it's a 2 day weekend, fly away here, drive away here, or just take some time away and go somewhere private, I would recommend that. Other than that, I think vacation is important. Now, what are some of the places that you'd like to go? Make a list. Some people have had plans in their bucket list where they would like to go before they die. Don't just write the list. Work toward making some of those vacation spots true, or make them come alive. Some bucket lists, people make bucket lists because it might be just extreme, or like you want to visit Antarctica. Who can go there? You want to visit, some people, it's a bucket list just to go to Guatemala. Some people, it's a bucket list just to go to the islands. And it seems so easy. I'm from the islands, but I haven't been back home in 100 years. Not even 100, right? But it's not really been my bucket list or my wish. But my desire, my desire, y'all, is to go Paris. I would love to go to Paris. I would love to go to Italy, Sicily. I would love to go to France. I would love to go to Spain, those areas. That's my desire. And I pray and trust that it's going to happen. So I don't know if y'all noticed, but Um, this is my new logo for Bright as Dawn, Rising Light. So I do still have my Happy Harvest ministry, but I'm also doing, some things on my channel as well. So I would love for you to support as much as you can. But anyway, so let's talk about vacation spots. Like I've talked to some people, some of their desire is Paris, Europe. I'm asking, okay, so why? Because it's an icon. It's a place that is mentioned, and most people have not been there that I know. But lately, I've been talking to a lot of my friends who have gone, because it seems like it's, when you do it with friends, it's like a little easier to do. And when you really plan it with a travel agent or someone who is, really pushing for you to go, it seems a little bit more exciting than when you just say, oh, I just want to go to Paris. Oh, I just want, then you're steady planning and waiting, then you never get to go. So I would recommend, make a list, whether it's a bucket list or just jot down the vacation spots that you would like to go, and decide, is this something I would like to do on my own, or is something I would like to do with my spouse, or is something I would like to do with a significant other, friends or family, or, just again, by yourself. For me, I definitely won't be doing it by myself. I would be doing it with my husband or my children, or of course my sisters, my brothers, and somebody got to be there with me. Going to a whole nother country, especially international spot by dawn self, that's not going to happen. But anyway, so how would you prepare for this? So a couple of things I want to talk about, just free talk. How would you prepare for this vacation? It's easy for us to say, well, I want to go here, I want to go there, but you want to definitely prepare, especially when you're doing international travel. You want to prepare. And how do you prepare? You want to make some, you want to do research. You want to make sure you're researching the country where you're going, find out what the laws there, find out what it is, the culture. I don't know how many people do that before they just up and jump on a plane. Most countries, you definitely, especially Africa, you definitely have to have vaccination. You have to have a visa. Some countries are like that. I don't have all the list at the top of my head. So that's something you'll have to be reviewing, researching to find out what are the requirements for you to visit this country. Some people also make their visitation via with the travel agent, or cruise, or through like buddy trips. There are different things that you can get into, various means of travel companion to go. And then there are different websites. There's Google, of course, is always everybody's best friend, but it's not always accurate. So I would definitely say, check out the country's website, check out the travel agencies, check out the people who would, I think I did have some other names. Let me check. I had made note on some things that I know that's important, like travel documents. You definitely want, when you're doing your traveling, the government websites, government travel advisories. That is so important, because of course you're able to check the official government website. Then that gives you more safety information. They tell you a little bit more of when to travel, when not to travel, and the safety instructions and guidance. You can always check the embassy website. That's another means of carrier information that you want to add to your research. The embassy website, and that's usually the home of the country in the destination of where you're going to be traveling. So those are more important I would say, more verifiable than just going on Google, because the embassy is more up to date in what is required, and the dates and travel advisories. People and experts are like travel agents I've mentioned. Consult with your travel agent specialize in your destination, because that's what they do. They're agents, so they are more familiar with the codes and the cultures and the different necessary documents that you may need. Some friends and family, like I have a couple of friends who travel all the time out of country, and one particular friend, she's almost 70, but she travels all the time by herself. But prior to that, it's easy for her because she was a consultant. She was a consultant. She traveled all around the world. So I'm always talking to her. She's like almost 70, and she's already have a plan. She knows what she's doing. She tell you about the size of suitcase and the amount of clothes. And I'm like, wow. All I know in my head, I just want to go to Paris. I just want to travel. I'm not thinking about the suitcase and how much pounds and I'm not thinking about that at the moment. But when she came back and she was giving me the information and what happened to when she got dropped off, and she had like 3 luggages, and she's trying to figure out how she's going to roll all of. So you definitely want to travel light, but be prepared, right? Local experts, reach out to your local tour operators, bloggers, or experts for inside information. So you always have people who blog about trips, and they specialize in certain trips that they have taken or visit often. So you want to, check them out as well. And I talked about the government website, travel books, magazines, magazines, they always have information about traveling, because they too like to advertise. So, you get information through the magazine. You get information through that. I don't know the weather. It started raining. So if it seems like my internet is going in and out, please forgive me. It's the weather. So you want to check out the guidebooks. You can either purchase them or borrow them. The travel magazines, like I said, like National Geographic Traveler. You can look at the Condé Nast Traveler or the Travel and the Leisure. I've looked at some of those, and I've owned some of those magazines. But everything these days is more digital, so you can pull these things up and you can subscribe if you're going to be frequent, in your traveling. So those are mobile apps. They have mobile apps, TripAdvisors, Google Trips, City Mapper, and you can download these for navigation and transportation information, which you're going to want to be prepared in having these apps on your phone, so you can pretty much have, your location information. And when you get there, you want to have some of these things ready and available as well. Social media forums, Facebook groups, join travel related groups that focus on your destination. Facebook, hundreds and thousands of groups. You would not believe they have. This is a ruler, and they have social media regarding a ruler. There are people that just study rulers. So you can get into groups. They have the Reddit and the Instagram, and all those are travel influencers that talk about these places. Online research, official tourism website, travel guides, as we mentioned already, and Google search. We mentioned those at the beginning. But let's get back to the important. Those are important. Those are how you're going to prepare. So I want to give a list, a comprehensive list, pretty much to help you prepare for your vacation for another country, international travel, right? Because a lot of us just say we want to do it, but then it stays right there in our head. I want to do it, but nothing else happens. So I think maybe if you kind of have some ideas and what you can start doing, it may jog you a little bit, nudge you and push you. So I would start looking at and also it depends if you're like in that ready mood and you're just kind of like, lazy about getting the information. I would start just, looking at the areas that you want to go, the places like, okay, I want to, like, my first place I really want to travel to is Paris. I don't care who's been there, what they say about it, unless it's not about to blow me up. I want to go to Paris. It's been my lifelong dream, and that's where I want to go. I told my husband that, and hopefully I get to go before I die. So when I feel like I'm in right now, I know I'm not in a ready mode, but I want to go. I would start looking at things in Paris and the Eiffel Tower. Everybody, want to go visit that. I do. I want to see so many things. I want to go under the Love Bridge. I want to just do different things. I definitely want to go over to France. So it'd be like maybe a 3 area place of location doing this trip. But I definitely want to go to Paris. So I would recommend figure out first where you want to go, and make sure that's where you want to go. Don't just randomly out there, unless you're one of those people, surprise me, and you decide. But I would say go ahead and pick out what you want and where you want to go. Do your research. Once you decide, okay, I want to go to Paris, I want to go to France, I want to go to Jamaica, I want to go to Africa, I want to go to Asia, I want to go to Japan, I want to go to China, I want to go to Italy, I want to go to Sicily. I like to say that name, Sicily. I want to go to Spain. And I really do. I want to go to all those names I'm calling. You notice? I haven't been to Jamaica. I'm from the islands. I do want to travel all the islands. That's another plan, but that's not on the top of my list because it's almost like the culture is the same. So I want to go to where I want to go a place where I can experience new culture that's far, far from mine. Like Spanish culture is a little different. Chinese culture is a lot different. I want to experience that. I want to be able to sit on the ground, not the dirt ground, but how they sit and they drink tea and things like that. I do. So I want to do the destination research, the travel dates. You want to think about the dates, the time of the year. So that's why it's important to start getting some local information to find out about the best time to travel to these countries, best time of the year, because it also coincides with best time for tickets and so forth. And you want to definitely decide on your dates to align with the holidays and the events and things that's going on, and create an itinerary. And that's just creating a daily itinerary, which is a plan where you want to list your accommodations, your flights, and all of these things. What plane you think is going to be the best flight for you, depending on the cost and money. It's going to be find out how long is the flight, how long you have to sit, because especially if you're a person you can't sit too long, you want to make sure all that is put into perspective. Budget. You want to plan your budget. That's why, again, it's important for you to start finding out costs. How much is flights around XYZ time? How much am I going to have to put away for tickets? Budgeting is just, you have to establish a budget, because not just only for your ticket, but you want to start establishing your budget for other things like food, accommodation, sightseeing, trips, and different things. So you want to decide where I want to go. You want to start budgeting for food, and you want to start learning what are the cuisine average costs, and what do these people eat, or find out if they're American food there. But you're of course going there to be able to taste the culture as well. So you have to think about all that as well. And the next thing I want to talk about is travel documents, which is, I mean, all of these things that I'm bringing up, they're very important in your planning or your checklist. So passport, if you don't have a passport at this time, go ahead and start getting your passport. If you are not a citizen, you want to start working on your international passport and your green card. If you don't have a green card, or you have to apply, you may have to apply for a passport for wherever you're going, or a green card for wherever you're going, or just a travel visa. So you have to look into all of those. Beyond, you have to find out how long the passport or the visa is going to last for you to travel to where you're going. Insurance, you want to talk about, you want to research the insurance. What is it going to cost me? How much am I going to need for travel insurance? And you want to also make copies of your documents. That's very important when you're traveling, because anything can happen. Not that it's your portion for people to break into your hotels, but I've seen it happen. I've heard it happen. So you want to always have copies of your information. So when you do have to, file to get your information or to leave the country, because things are so crazy and people are so evil, you still want to be wise as a gentle as a dove, but wise as a serpent. But you still want to be wise in your planning, and double portion is always better than like I should have, think about that. All right, health and safety. Okay, depending on where you're going, you want to also do a health assessment for yourself, your children, your family, who are all traveling with you. You definitely want to look into that. Do you have someone with heart problems? Do you have someone has circulatory problems? Do you have, and the reason the heart problems, you have to be mindful of that, and circulatory problems, because if they're sitting too long, they may go into edema, fluid overload, or fluid depletion, so you want to make sure you're medically clear to travel. If you are asthmatic, you want to also make sure that you're medical clear to travel and you have the proper medications and the proper rescue prescription to help you while you're traveling. So you definitely want to be cautious about that. Vaccination, you want to also make sure you have the proper vaccination to travel to another country, because the bacterias and the different type of viruses in the air and in the areas where you'll go is different from what you have here. So that's why it's always recommend that you have a certain amount of booster shots that you have to take when you're going into a new country and so forth. So you want to definitely look into all of that. And again, your travel insurance, your travel health insurance, you want to make sure what works where and what doesn't work, and what do you need while you're there in case something happens and you have to go to the hospital. You want to make sure you have, like I say, your essential medications. If you have high blood pressure, you're asthmatic, you have heart issues, you're diabetic, stroke patient or past stroke, so they may have some Plavix or some anticoagulant that they have to take. And then you also have to worry about if you've had history of deep vein thrombosis. You want to make sure you cleared from your doctor, because it's a long drive, a long flight, so you don't want to develop any blood clots, and which travels to your lung and your brain and cause multiple complications. So we don't want any of that. So you definitely want to make sure you are prepared. Best thing is that you're healthy and you don't need none of those things, but just to be mindful and watchful of your health. Amen. Finances, currencies. Think about it. Some places don't use US and they may not have that currency to exchange. So you want to know, do you have to prepare in advance for some currencies for the country where you're going? Or what do you need? Is it credit cards or debit cards? Is that accessible? Do they use these cards in those countries? Which I think most countries are set up that way. Navy Federal, I think, is all around the world because of the fact that they go all around the world. Most credit unions are, but you'll just have to see which one coincide with your credit union if you have to go to the bank to withdraw. Traveler's check. Some people travel traveler's check. You have to find out, if the country, accept those and so forth. And packing. Let's down to the best part, and might be the most troublesome. But clothing, you have to research, because what you wear here may not be what you need there, and what you need at that moment you may not have, because you just figure, hey, the atmosphere is the same as here. So you want to definitely research their dress code. Dress code is important, because what is acceptable here may not be acceptable there. The gestures are always important too, because again, do you go there and do peace sign, or do you not do the peace sign? Or you want to learn some of those main things, like how you say hello. Do you say hello with a nod? Do you hug? Some people, that's offensive. Different things. So you want to be mindful of the clothes. So you definitely want to do a dress code research and pack accordingly. Adapters, you want to check your adapters, bring the necessary power adapters, because some countries, especially I think the British, like England, and if I'm not mistaken, some places in Africa, they have like a different plug-in adapting system, the outlets. So you may have to buy, I think I've seen them on Amazon. They're like for international travel. So they're user friendly and multi-usage. So you want to check that out. Just travel accessories, like bring in your travel size essentials, like your toiletries. Don't carry oversized travel essentials that will weigh down your luggage and cause you to be um, um, overload, to that, and that costs more money. Your electronics, again, you want to pack your phone, your laptop, your camera. You want to find out what are the rules there, what current you can use to go through to use with your electronics. And communication, you want to check out their phone plan. When you take your phone, is it roaming? What is your phone plan? Is it acceptable for international roaming? Can I still use my phone when I get there? Most people have WhatsApp, so they're able to communicate on the WhatsApp platform. Some people just use WhatsApp for communication, because they don't want to have to use up their roaming fees, and that run higher for their cost. Portable Wi-Fi. Some people consider buying that. You can also try that. Find out about the language. You want to know what language they speak, and they have so many different language tools now, or language app that you can, like, I've had some Spanish people were trying to ask me. A matter of fact, it was an Amazon person came to my house, and I was in my car, and he was taking my bag to the front, and I said, give me, I was here trying to take the bag from him, but he didn't speak. So I saw him pull the phone out, and then he typed something in it, and then he had the phone read to, no, he spoke something into the phone, and then he had me to read it. So he's Spanish, and then they related in English. So they have vice versa. Some countries, the same way, you can speak your English into this app, and it will read out the language that you need it. Like if you're in Russia and you want Czech, you're in Brazil. I think Brazil speaks Spanish or French, one of those French countries, or France, and you need French, you can do the same. And I think that's superb. That's awesome. The other thing I want you to look into is emergency contacts. Like my sister was telling me, you always want to have your itinerary share with your family, friends, whomever, but definitely allow someone to have the information of your whereabouts and what you're doing, because if anything happens, there's so many people have gotten lost overseas. So many people haven't heard from their family, and they don't know if they're dead or alive. So many things has happened, and just because of lack of planning and communication. So please prepare, plan well, and communicate with your family and communicate with the board of operations where you're going, the website, the embassies, and everything that is more applicable to give you a more verifiable information than just, hey, Google. Okay. Miscellaneous, so like travel apps I just mentioned, download the necessary travel apps as much as possible. Maps, currency converters, those are important. Snacks, pack non-perishable snacks for the journey, because sometimes things go over and they only provide certain amount, but just things that you might be able to feed on, whether it's dry or not, and just add water to help you survive for the moment, something in that regards. And like I said, travel size games that will help bring entertainment to while you're on downtime. And for me, can't go wrong with your Bible. You have apps with your Bible. For me, I have a small little Bible that's about this big. So I want to have a physical and I want to have the app. So my Bible, that's my best friend. I can have that anywhere. And books, of course. I want to have some kind of reading material. So even if it's one book, I'll be having a book. And then I will have my Kindle, I'll have my Scribe or my Everand, my library, digital, whatever it is necessary. And be flexible, be prepared for unexpected charges or delays. So I know you're going to be budgeting. Hopefully you are planning to, but you want to make sure you have excess. Always have excess for emergency other than what your budget, or even in the budget, you're planning for excess. So what your excess amount may be 600, your excess amount may be 1,000. Your excess amount may be 50. I don't know. It just depends on where you're going and what your budget looks like. But I do believe if you follow these information that I provided, this list, it will help you to be well prepared if you follow these information. And I pray that you will follow up with someone else that can give you, a little bit more information. Add it if you have questions or, you want to know a little bit more than what was provided here. You can always send me a message, but the main place to look is those places, like I mentioned, for more information to follow, especially if you're truly planning to vacate, go on your vacation and enjoy yourself. So are you planning for one? Or are you planning for two? Are you planning for three? Or are you planning for four? Whatever you're planning for, I pray that this will be a good trip for you and you go without delay. Remember, you have one life to live. Live it to the best of your ability, to the fullest of your availability. And don't forget, whatever you do, put God first. He will help you through. All of the planning, God will guide you. So I just pray that you have a good vacation. Drop in the chat. Let me know what your plan is. Where do you plan to go? And what you would like to hear next. I do plan to do health next. I'm not sure on what, but it'll be Friday when I pop in. So it'll be Free Talk Friday. And I might do live. But other than that, I wish you well. Please subscribe. Thank you for listening. Please, please, please share. And remember, I'm going to be here next week. And see you guys. God bless. I always have to laugh because I got to remember to get back to my regular screen. So I want to say bye-bye. Love you.